The program so far has been great. Uh, I felt like everything that's been taught so far has been aimed towards an actual goal of getting me to play the music that I want instead of just cramming scales and theory down my throat. Everything's been geared towards actually getting me to improvise and to sound better in making guitar leads. Compared to before I was taking these lessons, progress has been pretty good. It's much more focused. My practice time is more productive. I feel like I can feel like I'm becoming a better player. I actually have a goal when I practice instead of just picking up a guitar and playing for a while. I actually have something to learn now. What I've enjoyed most about lessons has been mostly that I have goals now when I play, and that I'm seeing real progress. Instead of just staying statically the same player I've been for the last however many years, now I'm on a path to becoming better and feeling more confident in my playing. Dru's been a great teacher so far. He's super friendly, and he's really easy to get along with, and he'll help you out with anything you have questions about, whether it's musically related or being in a band or anything related to that.
I've bought videos, I've purchased books, I've downloaded tabs, and I've taken lessons from other folks. I've asked my friends who play their instruments, you know. I think that the lessons that I've taken from Dru are the best lessons I've taken from any of the folks that I've had them from. And one of the things that I really like about Dru, even though it doesn't have anything to do with actually the lessons themselves, is the guy shows up on time. He shows up every day. He doesn't like miss a lesson and then call you after the fact and apologize, and then you have to try to rearrange your schedule. That is something that I really appreciate about Dru. You know, let's face it, musicians are not necessarily a real reliable, punctual kind of group of people as a whole. So to find somebody who seems to be responsible and comes prepared, you know, that's obviously an important factor that maybe you don't necessarily think about when you initially make the decision. But if you pick the wrong teacher, it can become a big factor. Well, I think, you know, a lot of getting better at the guitar is something that's going to happen outside the classroom, you know, outside of the lesson environment. And Dru has done a great job of helping me figure out how I should spend my practice time to get more out of it. You know, in the past, my approach was more to just sort of half learn something and then try to kind of fill in the gaps later. And his approach is to learn it correctly from the beginning, just to learn it very slowly. That's a different approach. And you know, I'm kind of a stubborn, thick-headed person, and you know, over a period of time, he's drilled into my head, slow it down. And you know, when I've tried it, I got results. Lo and behold, I am like everybody else. I can't do something different and get, you know, the same result as everybody else. I really need to take a tried and tested approach. Well, the things that I enjoy about the lessons is that Dru is a very flexible teacher. You know, he always comes with some sort of an agenda, a lesson plan, and I have my own agenda. I'm in a band. There's specific things that I want to work on, and he's been very flexible about and adaptable. So we, you know, often sometimes deviate from maybe what his plans were, but we would spend the time working on whatever it was that had been bothering me. You know, it was very specific to my needs. So he tailored the lessons to my needs. You know, his technique is amazing. I mean, as a guitar player, he came in, blew me away. I knew for a fact that, you know, that there was a lot I could learn from him. But again, I've known many players over the years who had phenomenal technique, but they didn't have the ability to communicate with somebody else and to teach. Teaching is a completely separate skill from playing the guitar. But over the course of time, I got to know him. I found him to be punctual, reliable, patient, kind, prepared, and I got to know him and found him to be a very trustworthy. Again, I invited him into my house. I didn't know the guy, I got to be very comfortable and just found him to be really a great resource and somebody that eventually came to call a friend. So I'm proud to know him. The time I've gotten to know him, I've seen him grow even as a teacher as I've grown as a student. So he seems to be committed to his own journey with this instrument, to not just sort of stopping his own learning process, but I've given him some of the books that I bought that I just couldn't wrap my brain around, or they were at a level above me. He'd take them home and devour them and come back a week later and say, "There's some great stuff in here, let's talk about it." And it's neat for me as a student to realize that he's a student too. We're all students of this instrument. It's a lifelong process to learn to play this thing, and it's cool, to feel like it's something we're all in together, and his enthusiasm for it and for any style of music. I mean, that's the other thing is I've introduced him to some bands and some styles of music that I don't think are necessarily things he would have come onto by himself. But as a musician, he could hear, the things that I heard in them and why I like them, because, he could hear there was some interesting technique or whatever, and he would become enthusiastic about them too, and it was neat to find somebody who kind of would share my enthusiasm for some of the stuff. So it's been a great time knowing him, and I plan on him being my one and only guitar teacher for as long as I play guitar.
Hey there, my name is Dru Silver, and I currently offer intermediate and advanced guitar lessons in Richmond, Virginia. If you are struggling with understanding and applying music theory, writing and recording your own original music, learning to play and improvise guitar solos, or with using advanced guitar techniques, call or text the number below for a free consultation and free lesson, with no obligation to continue afterwards. I've helped a large number of intermediate and advanced guitar players overcome their challenges with those exact topics, and would like to hear from you to learn more about your specific situation and discuss immediate solutions to your problems that will help you move forward with your guitar playing in the fastest way possible. Call today to schedule your free lesson.